Can you tell us a little bit about North Carolina timber rights?
When people own a large tract of land, one of the reasons why they own the land is to grow and harvest timber on it. And that could be a 20 to 40 year period. Sometimes it's replanted, sometimes it's not. When somebody has land that they wish to timber, they usually have their land it's in a forestry management program, which means the owner of that property only has to pay 50% of the property taxes if they have it in a forestry use program. So that's a significant difference. They don't have to pay half the taxes. If they sell the land, the county in North Carolina will go back 3 years and make them pay the difference if they sell that land. But while you have it in land use, you get a significant 50% tax reduction. When someone sells the timber off their property, they sell a timber deed to whoever's going to harvest that timber. And the timber deed is recorded with the Register of Deeds in the county. We've gotten into situations in this office or with other firms where agents have not realized that the seller has sold the timber rights for a property. These guys harvest the timber when the market's high, the ground's not too wet, and it is most advantageous for them to do this. So a timber deed will usually be a minimum of 90 days, but they're most commonly a year or two old. So it's recorded. You need to know how to look these things up. So someone could have a piece of land, this beautiful piece of land with wonderful trees on it. The timber deed has been sold. Somebody else could buy the land. They see all these lovely trees, and the timber company can come in and clear cut everything, and it'll look like a bomb hit it. But that, that should come up in a title search by a good attorney. If a piece of land doesn't have good access in North Carolina, they're still allowed to be able to timber that property. They'll be granted a temporary access to the property so they can harvest it. One of the things that people need to know is, I know a lot of timber guys. You need to make sure that you are selling those rights to someone that is good and reputable. The cleanup makes a huge difference, whether or not they're leaving stumps, or they're usually going to leave stumps, but whether or not they leave a bunch of the bad wood and it's laying down, it looks horrible. Also, there's going to be tremendous amount of ruts in the property where they go in and out, especially when it's muddy and wet. And you can get in a huge issue where if a company's not reputable, they will cut down border trees. And what that means is if there's this giant oak tree or giant pine tree that's actually on the property line and they cut that down, that's not legal, and the neighbors will get really, really upset. And when I say neighbors, we're not talking like a residential housing development. We're usually talking about one giant tract next to another giant tract, but you're not allowed to cut down those border trees.